I had a blast over there. It was 3+ days. It wasn't very long, but it is so much fun going over there, experiencing that ballpark, experiencing the city, which is one of the great cities I've ever been to, and just the whole idea of playing Major League Baseball in an English Premier League stadium. It's cool. So the crowds were great, 55,000 roughly in each case, Saturday and Sunday. The games were much better than the last time when the Yankees played the Red Sox. The field was good. Everything worked out really nicely. The thing I don't know, the thing I question, is how much of an impact are these games making? And yes, the crowds were great, but I suspect, I don't know this for sure, that a large percentage of the crowd was comprised of two separate groups. One, expats from the United States, people living over in London who are American, who just want to get a taste of baseball. And two, tourists. Now, I know there were a lot of tourists there because I saw them when I was walking around the city myself. Cubs jerseys, Cubs shirts, Cardinals jerseys, Cardinals shirts. So it seems to me that that is the bulk of the audience live for these games. Now, that doesn't mean baseball shouldn't try to make an impact or inroads in Europe. The idea that they have is that the European sports fan is hardcore, granted mostly soccer or football, and in England, cricket as well. But these fans are intensely passionate, like fans, for instance, in the Northeast. That's how Chase Utley described it to me. So if you can get maybe even a tiny percentage of that audience, then you've got something. But how long does that take? What does it take to get there? These are all valid questions. And Utley pointed out one thing to me that was really interesting when I wrote that article about him last week. He said there are only 3 or 4 youth leagues in London comprised of about 100 kids each. So when you talk about the distance baseball has to go, it's considerable. And frankly, the biggest impact, it seems to me, was Great Britain's performance in the World Baseball Classic. Remember, their upset of Colombia, that was their first win ever in the WBC. And that qualified them for the next tournament in a few years hence. So by doing that, by advancing, the Great Britain team opened up a lot more funding for their future endeavors, for youth programs, for facilities, for equipment, all the things that you would need to get baseball going. Now, one of the interesting things when I was there was meeting reporters from several other European countries who did have a knowledge of baseball, who in fact cover baseball. Obviously, there were reporters from England there, but I also was interviewed by a reporter from France on television. I met a reporter from Hungary. I met another reporter from Poland. And these folks were into it. They like baseball. There is passion for baseball, at least in their worlds. So this is not a hopeless cause by any stretch of the imagination. It just seems that it's going to be difficult. And hey, some things you got to try, and you got to put your foot down in these countries and see where you go. Next year, another game in London. That's going to be Mets-Phillies. The year after, I guess it's not official yet, but they're talking about Paris, and that would be really cool as well. Now, I want to give you my favorite story from the weekend. You would think my favorite story might involve the Cubs, might involve the Cardinals, might involve actual baseball, but no. It does not involve any of those things. My favorite story occurred when we were going out for dinner, our Fox Sports group. This was Friday night, the night before the game. We had a big group dinner. It was Derek Jeter's first time as a member of our team, and we all went out together, about 20 of us. As we got into some cars to go to this restaurant where we were going to eat, I was right behind Big Papi. I was about to get into the same car as Big Papi. And let me show you the video of what occurred. Let me show you what was, hold on. And let me show you what happened as we broadcast to the world on our pregame show Saturday.
Last night, an eventful night for us as we went out to dinner. You see, Big Papi, who does wear a lot of bling, happened to drop his down a sewer.
Look at that.
Oh, it fell off the neck, and the hotel worker went and got it. Now, how much tip did you give that guy?
Big time tips. Big
Over
time
under
tips.
$25.
He just saved $100 grand for me right there. I thought I totally lost, and all of a sudden, Papi, here's your bling. I'm like,
$100?
My man.
What is a tip on a save of $100 grand, would you say?
For Papi, 50 cents.
All right, first of all, Papi's tip, he was talking about a number that started with a 5, but was a lot bigger than 50 cents. Second, the fact that they got that chain out to me is something of a miracle. I will never forget this. When it went down the grate, and I saw it come off his neck and go into the grate, into the sewer, underneath London, it came off because he had not locked it properly. But anyway, this grate, it looked to me like it had been sealed going back to the Tudor dynasty, like hundreds of years. I was thinking, there's no way they're going to get that grate up. And the sewer wasn't particularly deep. It was kind of shallow. So I thought, okay, if they can get in there, yeah, maybe there's a chance. So we all go to dinner. Papi's just hoping things are going to work out, as they often do work out for him. And we get to the dinner, and before the first course is even served, Papi hears from the hotel. He gets those videos that we saw. All is well. And the key, at least in his mind, the hotel worker that you saw in the video, the guy who rescued Big Papi's $100,000 necklace, which of course he announced to the world on our broadcast, Papi claimed that guy was Dominican, and of course that to him explained everything. So anyway, it's a lot of fun traveling with these guys, and for me, I always say this, and I can't say it enough. It's a real privilege to be part of these broadcasts, especially the special ones like the London series, postseason, of course, Field of Dreams, all of those kinds of games in particular. It's a thrill to be part of every broadcast. I'm grateful for every inning I'm on. But to be in this particular circumstance, it makes you remember quite vividly why you do this, why you get excited about it, just the fun of it all. And Big Papi, well, he got his necklace back, so all is right with the world.